How you guys doing? We're here on another Moto Head production and doing a great job. You know, this time we're going to do a little line selection and some tips where maybe some off-road guys can help out. Just because you're riding in the woods and you see one line necessarily doesn't mean that's the best line to go. Right here we're going to show you guys where, sure, the berm looks like it's the fastest, but it's really not the fastest way, and I'll demonstrate a couple different ideas and ways to do it. But just remember, line selection is really a key in any kind of motorcycle riding, off-road, motocross. But here again, just because the line's there, that doesn't mean you have to go. And a tip Bob Hanna told me, he says, when you're following somebody, you never can pass them. Right here's a great example where you have a berm and a rut that carries you outside, carries you up into here. There's a root right here that kicks your bike sideways, and then it carries you out this way. Where you're a little bit slower coming to apex and corner, you're going to come straight up through here at this mark right here. You straight up the hill. You're missing this rut, you're missing all this, and this route, you just straight up the hill, and it takes the S out, and it carries you speed, and much more simple to ride. Give it a try, and I guarantee you speed will pick up in the woods. You know, log crossings are some of the simple things in off-road you see. You don't see too many log crossings in a motocross or supercross, but you know, it is simpler than what it looks like. The key is you don't want to drive into the log, because if you drive into it, you don't know if the log's going to shoot your front wheel one way or the other. Best way to do is when you come to the log, you know, standing on, you know, weight your pegs, stand it on your bike. Lift your front end to get over the log. You know, right here's the log. You don't want to have the front end up so high when the rear wheel catches the log, it throws the front end back down. You want to come, the best way is to come over and almost let the front tire kiss the log. I mean, just kiss the log and bounce to the other side. And as that happens, as you just kind of chop the throttle a bit, it lightens the rear of the bike, and then the front is already on the ground. And when that happens, the bike just kind of hits the log like, and goes across of it. If you come at this log, front end really high, with the gas on, when the rear wheel hits, it's going to throw you back around, front, back down, and probably throw you over the bars. If you notice, like Ricky or Jeremy and those guys, when they go over the jump, they hit the rear brakes, drop the throttle, and it drops the front end. We're doing basically the same thing here. We're not doing a triple. We're carrying over the log. The front's a little high, kisses the top. If not kiss, it just gets on the other side. Chop the throttle, and when you chop the throttle, your bike will actually lift in the rear just a little bit, and it gives you actually more suspension for the log, and when it hits on the other side, accelerate and take off. When you get into the rut, try to carry a highest gear you possibly can, and once you get in there, don't fight the bike through the rut. Set it in the rut, try to get a good feel, keep you balanced, and use a high gear and pull yourself out of the rut. Last thing you're doing is going rut, 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 and then makes the front end get a little high. You hit the sides of the walls, you're oversteering. Take your time, get into the rut, and then accelerate it through the rut, out of the rut, and you know, think of it as, yeah, you're on a track at that point, and you can't get out of it. So get in there, get comfortable, get settled, high gear, and accelerate out. Because you know what? You're going to make you speed up coming out, not getting into the rut. I want to be a little slow to get set into that rut. And once I get set in it, then I want to work my momentum out. I don't want to have to try to scrub off speed. Because if I'm trying to scrub off speed to get myself into the rut, there's a lot of things can happen. I can overcook it. Front wheel get in the rut, rear wheel out. You know, worst thing can happen, I overcook it, drop my front wheel in there, and my rear slides out of the rut. And then what happens then? The back end passes you, because now your front's stuck in the rail and the rear goes around you. Or the same thing, you overcook in it and you overstir. Next thing you know, your front gets out and your rear stays in. Now you got to turn going to your right and you're sitting in the thing pointed left. So the key is to get the front and rear wheel, what I'm calling like locked into the rut. Get them into the rut. Slow down enough to get the thing locked in, and once you get it locked in, then you can't hardly mess up. Accelerate out. You don't want the bike this way or this way. Lock it into the rut and accelerate out. Got in it too hot. My front came out of the rut when I did that. I was dead. The rear wheel followed the rut. I had to stop my momentum, spin around and get going again. Hey, if you got a guy and you're racing first, second, he's right on your butt, you just lost the race right there. Which if you get in the rut, you get settled, like Bob Hanna says, if he's following you, he can't pass you, you get set in the rut, boom, you take off and you're off to the races.